a little story for you. A couple of years ago, I forgot to put the bin out, and the lorry usually came around at something like 7 o'clock in the morning. So there I was, mid coffee, hearing it thundering down the road. And I ran out as quick as I could, dragging the bin up the drive. And one of the crew comes over to grab it, and I say, "Oh, almost missed you." And he looks at me for a second and he goes, "It's Richard, isn't it?" Now, I wasn't big headed enough back then to assume that it was probably a podcast listener or something. So my brain is frantically scrolling through old clients, old colleagues, anyone. And he sees the confusion on my face and he reminds me that years before, we used to work at the same company when I used to do therapy part time and I had a proper job alongside it. And as soon as he said where he used to work, I remembered him from the warehouse where I used to work in the office. That was part of it. And then he did this thing that a lot of people do. He started putting himself down, telling me that working on the bins was supposed to be temporary, that he'd been made redundant, that he had to take anything. And he was clearly embarrassed, as if driving one of probably the most important vehicles in the country somehow made him a failure. And meanwhile, I'm thinking, mate, my entire quality of life depends on people like you. If all jobs vanished tomorrow, bin collectors, sewage workers, they're going to be the first that we'd miss. The thing is, I'm pretty sure he'd never judge anybody else in that role. He wasn't looking at his colleagues and thinking stuff like that. But we do allow ourselves to say things to ourselves that we'd never dream of saying to another human. That's where it's worth pausing and asking, is it my job that's the problem here? Or is it how I'm talking to myself about it?